So today is a bit different. Today I'm going to do, as my air kicks on, so lovely. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a different video. I'm actually going to do some vintage stuff today. And I'm really excited about what I found recently at a store. It was a card shop locally here in Nashville. That's where I'm located. They just had like a bunch of sports stuff, but I asked the fella behind the counter, I was like, hey, you guys have any like Pokemon stuff? And they were like, oh yeah, we got a bunch of boxes. So I looked through and I found a couple of gems, and I'll talk to you a little bit about my collection. I don't think I'm really the same as a lot of people that are like part of the Pokemon community. I'm not really sure. I don't really have too many connections yet, but a lot of people are like in for the PSAs and the trading and like the value and stuff. But for me, I've got a little bit more. I don't know, I'm not gonna call myself like super special or anything, but like, I don't know, I'm in it for just like completing a collection. And sometimes the exact value doesn't matter. It's nice to know how much your stuff is worth. But I'll show you a little bit of what my idea of value is, starting with this Topps card. This is so dope from, I'm fairly certain, I think it's Series 1. I'd have to double check. But Topps printed a set. And I'll actually show you what my set looks like sometime later. I've got a full Series 2 set, I think, but this one was included. These are all stickers, and I am definitely not going to pull them off because I think even though this card is not really good quality, even if you're not like a card collector, you can tell. You see these like here, it's all banged up, and on the front you can see where instead of black all the way around, you've got these nicks where you can see white coming through. And that's one way that collectors tell the quality of their cards when they send them off to be graded, like professionally. You can see all of that white. That means the card has been heavily played or used or stored improperly. See, it's a little frayed here on the corners. I still like having it. I think they're really cool and fun to add into a collection. So what I found today in this gentleman's boxes were these. He had a couple of binders and boxes that had a mix of stuff, some newer stuff, but I found a couple of gems. A lot of it, I even forget what's in this because I was just feverishly grabbing, stacks and stacks because it was like, 5 cards for $1 or whatever. So I actually am just kind of doing this, like going over this to add into my collection, and let's see what we got. So, we'll start with that, I guess. So we got a jungle set of a Gloom, the Japanese jungle set. It's not like first edition or anything. A little banged up around the edges, but that's okay. I'm gonna go through and actually, in my collection, I have both base set or all. I've got base set, Rocket, Gym Challenge, Gym Hero cards that are maybe not necessarily in the best condition, but again, I'll show that probably at a later date. But I'm actually going to go back and start like counting these cards up, making sure I have full sets and adding them in there. So I always grab these when I can. You can see the actual like gloss that's on the card instead of being completely matte. You see a couple of spots if you can tell the detail. You got like this, like you can see a little like some speckles throughout there, so the coating is not consistent. It's not perfectly glossy. So that's one indicator of its value and condition. And then starting off next, I'll go backwards like this. We've got Chansey, and this Chansey is from the base set, and it's one of the foil cards, and I don't have many copies of Chansey, but this one you can tell is like severely damaged. It's got this bend in it, which is so wild. On the back, you can see where wow, I feel like a YouTuber. Like, look at the weight going on. Come on, focus camera. It's not too awful on the back, but yeah, definitely on the front, you've got this massive crease on the card. So I use these, if you're familiar with what a power cube is, later in life, if I have like kids or friends over even, I have full play sets of basically every card, including energy cards. That way, if we wanted to like make decks on the spot, you have access to every card. I'm still building that collection up. So anytime I see damaged cards, I always grab them, especially holos, or well, mostly holos. The other cards aren't actually damaged, they're just lightly played. But the whole goal is to get 2 full play sets of heavily played cards, or just played cards, so they're not that expensive. Otherwise it would totally break the bank. So funny how this is actually still so shiny. You can see my stand and the camera. Hey, there's you. Ha ha ha. Anyway, moving on. A couple of these cards are Japanese, as we can tell. Nice, a Venonat. And these, I was actually really surprised. Quality is not super awful. Couple of dinged up spots, but I was still happy. They just look like, not awful quality. So Japanese Staryu from the base set. We've got a Venonat from the jungle set. sad. I wish my katakana was better. I wish I could read that for their actual Japanese name. Machop from base set, a little more dinged up, a little less shiny, but that's all right. Japanese Firo from Jungle set. Very cool. I should probably sort them as I go. You know, that'd be a really smart idea because I'm going to go back and start counting them. So I might as well. You can do that with me. And this is actually the part of card collecting that I kind of enjoy the most. I'm a pretty loud person in general, but sitting down with the cards and just putting them in the right spot, making sure they're in the right order, making sure they're kept nicely, it's really relaxing. And it's kind of centering. It's almost like meditation for me. Just literally getting able to touch the cards. Like when I was in the store, even getting to go through the box and just like, you know, like rifle through the cards and figure my way through the different boxes that they had. I don't know, it's just very peaceful. It's very centering. Oh, sweet, Slowpoke. I love Slowpoke. One of my favorite Pokemon. Slowpoke from the Fossil set. Put this over here. Ekans, the Fossil set. Oh, sweet Zubat from Fossil. Nice, beautiful. We got next, Sandshrew. Oh man, I love, because obviously these were printed before the American cards were, but Sende, I think. And if my Japanese is wrong, someone who speaks Japanese, help me out here. Sende, I think it's de at the end. But I love this version of the resistance and weakness. Like if you can tell against the English, how it's stacked along the bottom like this, which makes sense and stuff, but I love this thing over here. I think they really actually reverted back to this style in XY Evolutions. If I'm wrong, I'll have to go back and check that, but I do like that a lot. Like return to form. Oh, Jinx. Oh man, I forgot literally what I grabbed. And you know, oh, is that off center? A little bit maybe? Oh wow, it's a little bit, almost like a little bit crooked, I think. A little bit. You'll have to go back. Yeah, oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, wow. I'll have to see, yeah, even that border. Look at that border. And this is a little bit off center. Neato. I like that. It gives the card's character, I think, even if it's not worth as much. Oh, seal. This is so dumb. In one of my future videos, I'll show you why this seal is important to me. So keep this in your memory. Actually, that's going to be my stream on an upcoming Sunday, where I'm going to talk about why this card is actually important to me. So I'm really excited for that. That was the best find, literally, of the past 5 years of my collecting. I'm very, very happy about it. Oh, Pidgeotto from base set. This is another one of those I need to complete. A base set for the Power Cube that I'm putting together. Maybe not Power Cube, but Cube in general. Oh, actually, it's not as bad as I was thinking it was. I would actually put this in my. It's not a gem mint or near mint collection. It's just cards that are in like moderately good condition. I actually put them aside. I will show that to you all one day. What I consider my prized collection, which is just 4 copies of every card from the base set in, a nice condition. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be mint, don't have to get it graded, doesn't have to be worth $10 billion for me to care about it. It just brings joy. What's up, Marie Kondo? Hit me up. Oh, well, this is dope. I forgot I pulled this. This is really cool. Poliwrath, Misty's Poliwrath from, I believe, in the Japanese sets, Gym Hero and Gym Challenge were the same set, but they were split up. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, if you don't, that's okay. But there were like a bunch of cards that were printed that had the gym trainers. Like this is Misty's Poliwrath. So the set was so big, I think, that when they brought it over to the US, they cut it into 2 separate sets because I think there were 164 cards. I'll have to go back and look at the math, but I know the English version is 132 cards in both Gym Trainer and Gym Challenge. So that's really exciting. A non-foil Snorlax from Jungle set. This is really important because I am now expanding my collection to do 2 full play sets of Jungle and Fossil as well. So it's really important for me to get these foils because I'm not putting necessarily foils in the cube, because if this set in particular, if you know, had foil versions and non-foil versions of the rares of the set. So that would be like having a non-foil Chansey in the base set. They didn't do that. All their rares were pretty, well, not all of them, but pretty much they didn't have a non-foil version of Chansey, but they did Snorlax and a bunch of other cards. We're probably going to see a couple more of those because I think I grabbed a few. Yep, Pinsir. This is another one just like that. So it's non-foil, glossy, but that's just because of the normal sheen of the card, but not foil. And not too awful of a condition. If I see a bunch of white, I'm like, might not be worth it. But Lieutenant Surge's Magnemite. I'm going back and doing my gym challenge, gym trainer set, trying to get that back up to snuff. So I have to actually review whether or not I needed this, but it was fun to grab it because I really love this art. Because of course, my man Ken Sugimori, you're just an absolute prince. Oh yeah, oh my gosh. So this card is like really heavily damaged, but the cool thing about it was in the dollar bin when or like the quarter bin or whatever, when I think he was going to try to sell it for a little bit more, but he didn't really seem to care because he looked over every card that I purchased and totaled it up the way he thought he should have. So I'm happy with it. It's heavily damaged. No one's going to buy this. It's not worth really anything to me. Sure, it might be more than 20 cents, but I was really happy to get this foil Zapdos from the Jungle set. I'm going to put that probably in our little cube that I got. Oh, another Snorlax. Cool. That's why I'm trying to get that full play set. And, yeah. Oh, gosh, sorry. That was really guttural and visceral. I love Kabutops. Kabutops is such a neat card because I didn't really have any copies of this card when I was a kid, so I really like seeing it. And this is, of course, the non-foil version, as you can tell. Yep, Vileplume. There's another one from Jungle set, non-foil, but really good for my play set considering I'm trying to get so many copies of it. That's really what that whole time was about. I'm going to go back there another day because I'm sure he has more. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this one. This is a Wizards of the Coast promo card, I believe, from Pokemon 2000, which is the movie about Lugia. I always called him Lugia as a kid. Definitely damaged, not up to snuff for like super, super nice, but I wouldn't mind throwing it in my promo binder. When I show you what my base set collection looks like, I will show you what's in the back of that binder, which is pretty much exclusively promos from Wizards of the Coast. I don't go too far. I really don't go too much into like the gold and silver territory, like pretty much printings after like 2001 or anything. For those of you who know, it's like Neo Genesis and stuff. I don't really go into that, but yeah, I was really happy to see this because I don't think I have a copy of this card. I'll go back and look, but I don't think I have a copy of this. So yep, Gengar non-foil. Going for my my jungle play or my fossil play set. There we go, Wizards of the Coast. This is from the Pokemon movie. I'm fairly certain this one you could only get at the movie. There were a couple of different cards you could get at the movie. It was either this, Dragonair, there was a Pikachu, and what am I missing? Mewtwo. I'll have to go back and look, but this is also in my promos as well. But I just saw it, and it was pretty, and I grabbed it. A little banged up, but it's fun to keep around for posterity. Couple extra copies. Oh, yep, there we are. Speak of the devil, he was in there too. And this little stamp is actually, it's a little gold embossed. It's really nice, really pretty. Not actual gold, otherwise we'd be rolling in the money. Yep, see, it's got some dings on it, of course. So not really super, super valuable at all, but still worth it to have around. Yep, it's even that little, if you can tell, these are the things that I look for when I'm looking through bulk cards, is this little ding at the bottom. Not really worth anything, but still super fun to have. Worth its weight in nostalgia times 10,000. Non-foil Wigglytuff from Jungle, going into the play set. Pidgeotto. I think that I have enough copies of this card. The only thing is, at one point, I didn't have any copies of this card at all in my perfect set, in my play set, and in my opinion, a pretty hard card for me to get copies of. Anytime I would go, it was in Maryland or any cons that I went to, when I tried to find copies of this card, it was really elusive. I could never find copies of it, and I pretty much grab whenever I can because I love the art on it. I think it's really pretty because I also didn't have copies of it when I was a kid. Oh, Vaporeon, non-foil. Perfect. Going in that play set. Hello, hello, hello. Again, this stack was like, what, like maybe $7-8 or whatever. Another Pidgeotto. I maybe went a little overboard on Pidgeotto. We'll see. Oh, non-foil Jolteon. Niceness. Is it the... No, 200,000? No, I think that was only the foil. There's a misprint where it says that it was printed in the year, was it 20,000? And some of them missed the stamp as well for the set, which is really cool. I think I've got an error print. Again, I'll show you some of the misfits that I have. Oh, Yep, non-foil Doug Trio. Actually, Doug Trio, I'm sorry, beg pardon, was not foil in base set. For those of you who don't know, obviously I'm talking about these little set symbols here. This is Fossil, this is Jungle, this is Gym Challenge, Gym Hero, Japanese, and you notice these cards don't have this here. This means this is base set. It was the original 102 cards, but there were multiple printings. So that's when you hear people say things like first edition, unlimited, shadowless, second edition, or base set 2. More, I can go into that later, because I'm still learning some of the super details myself. Like, I'll get into that later. Oh, base set Bulbasaur. I'm pretty sure you were damaged, were you not? Nah, just a little grimy. But yeah, I just like seeing if I can pull together a full base set of the Japanese cards. Probably not the foils because they're expensive. Yep. Dark Weezing from Rocket set. He's foil, and I'm pretty sure, I think I have enough of him for a playset. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look, but the fact that it was foil, the fact that it was only 20 cents, I was like, sure, yeah, I have to pick this up. Another Jolteon, good for my playset. Let's see. Oh, wow, Giovanni's Machoke, a copy of a card that I do not have in my collection at all, whether it's damaged or heavily played. And surprisingly enough, for my standards, got a little white here on the side, a little white here on the bottom. You know what? I probably even put this in my collection binder. Again, I will do a video on my collection binder, talk about that. Oh, yep, he's damaged at the top. Maybe not. Maybe he'll just be a placeholder unless I can get a better copy. But yeah, we'll put him off to the side and go over that later. Venomoth, Jungle, non-foil. Electrode base set, yes, and please, this is a just like Doug Trio from base set. Electrode was a non-foil card, but still a rare. Yeah, pretty not good for like a prime condition. But oh, Sabrina's Psyduck, I love Psyduck as some of my previous videos. Oh, actually, really good, and for my standards, happy. There's a little bit of a sheen to the card, as you can tell. Little nick there on the bottom, a little bit of white. Not too much white visible from the front, so that makes me happy. I'm going to probably put that in my collection binder, and I don't think I have a copy of Sabrina's Psyduck. Electrode, non-foil, Jungle, happy with that one. Muck from Fossil, non-foil. I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of copies of both him and Dark Weezing. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure that's the most common card that's either rare in my collection or foil. I have no idea why. Lieutenant Surge's Spearow, Gym Hero? I'm still not wise enough to know the difference. Not awful. If I don't have a copy of this already, I might throw it in my binder, even though the corner's so bunged up. I've got a spreadsheet where I keep track of these things and whether or not I'm actively looking for a replacement for it to keep it in just like back storage for fun, for nostalgia, or actually in my permanent collection binder. But I might pop him in as a placeholder as well. Oh, wow. Charmeleon base set Japanese. And again, not awful condition. A lot of these were just literally back to back in the box that he had. Really happy with that one because it's super pretty. And then, oh my gosh, this card is a double colorless energy, and it is, other than the Pidgeotto, this card is so elusive. I cannot find copies of this card anywhere. So the fun part about this person's collection, or just like cards that he had for sale, of course, this is pretty much more dinged up, probably only going in the play set, but I'm pretty sure, how many did I get? I got like so many. I mean, like so many more than I actually had. This is not all that bad. The bottom's a little buggered up, but oops, sorry if you're watching from England. Nobody's watching this from England. Pip Pip Cheerio and all that. But yeah, it not awful. This one's got some grime on it, so probably not going in the binder. Oh, but the back's not all that bad though. Maybe if I go back, maybe I'll find some more. But you really have to dig, and you have to dig carefully, because if you're using your fingernails on the top, that just adds to the damage to the cards, you know? Butterfree, so pretty, uncommon from the Jungle set. Again, another Butterfree. I'm pretty sure I didn't have enough copies. That's why I grabbed so many. Another Electrode. Again, a card I don't really have that many copies of. This is going to the play set. Pretty banged up around the edges and not up to my standards. But oh yeah. And then he also had, this gentleman had a this binder of like cards that he thought were like sellable for extra money, which this card is just As you can tell, super damaged here on the bottom, just a strip across the top. Looks like a kid like had it like, I don't know, probably in their back pocket. It's so disgusting, but good enough for my playset, because as long as it's like not super foil bendy, it can still fit in the standard sleeve, because all of these cards are sleeved. I'll show that to you sometime later. But hey, good enough for me, because it's just going in a deck, much like Aerodactyl with this name. I can't tell whether or not that is, yep, all that is completely ripped off. That's not paint or anything. That's literally just the, as you can tell, that's the card. That's literally just, you can just see through the cardboard. Fairly certain it is, right? Let's see, come on, camera, focus, huh? There we go. Yeah, maybe I'll do a little TLC. I do a little bit of card restoration. Oh wow, I've never done the camera focus thing. And now I see why they do it. Maybe I'm turning into a YouTuber, who knows, folks? And last but, Polyrath. Such a mixed history with this card. One of my friends had this card stolen out of their desk, and it was the biggest calamity of like first grade. I think one of the reasons why Pokemon cards got banned from my elementary school for the longest time. And I wrote my principal a letter, and I was like, Mr. Heiberger, listen here. Pokemon, it teaches maths and critical thinking. I didn't use that word. I think my mom maybe helped me pick that one out, but and my mom was a teacher too. So I wrote a letter, and then Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards were allowed again, at least for 1 year. Probably changed, but yeah, so damaged. But these cards were like, again, only $2 or so, and the rest of these cards were all about, I don't know, maybe 20 cents a piece. And for me, that's worth it. This is, you know, if you are a more serious Pokemon card collector and you're about the first editions, the auctions, the trading, the value, I appreciate that so much. For me, this is worth the world to me. This gives me so much peace and so much, it's so much fun. It's the thrill of maybe finding a card that's a little bit damaged, but still, like that thrill of still going for a collection. That's why it's so popular now. Kids love to have little collections, and I don't know, makes it worth it for me. If you've got a fun Pokemon card collection, tell me about it. If you ever, as a kid, found a card, I don't know, in your neighborhood or something, you're like, whoa, even if it was damaged, tell me about it. I love hearing stories like that. They make me super happy. So thanks for watching. I know this video was really, really long. I'll probably put it on Instagram and YouTube. I'm trying to upload all my stuff to YouTube just for funsies. But, always DM me. And maybe not one of these cards, because again, I still need to go through this collection, but if you share a screenshot of what I'm doing here to a social media that I'm on, pretty much only Instagram at this point, which is September of 2020, screenshot and tag me and send me a DM, and I'll send you a Pokemon card and a little handwritten note, and thank you for sharing what I'm doing here. If I can get a following, great. If not, I'm still having a blast. So thanks for everything. You made today special by just your being you. So have a good one. Toodles. Bye-bye.